Welcome to the Spark Learning session. Today we'll be talking about recommendation recommender system, and we'll do some validation and implementation of the recommender system. So let's get started. Last time we reached a training here, and we created a ALS system using these parameters. Now, what we need to do is create a model such that we'll apply this ALS to this model, and we'll create this new model such that we'll apply ALS and fit that into the training data set, and we'll run this such that it'll give us a model that has been trained on the training data set. Now let's run this. Now once you run it, the next step is to use this model to do some predictions. And we have some test data from our previous data segmentation, and we'll use a test model to do some transformation on the test data. That is, we'll do predictions and equal to model dot transform test data. This applies the model we have trained on a test data, and it'll give some predictions. It'll give some predictions. Now let's go ahead and do it again. It is giving me error. Why is that? It is giving, can you think about it for a second? It's giving error because we have made some mistake here. That is, instead of move ID, it should be movie ID. And because of this, it is giving me error. Now we'll correct this and run it again. Once we do this, let's run this our prediction again. Now it works. Next thing, what is the next thing we should do? Can you tell me? We should look at the prediction. It's a data frame, and we need to look at the prediction data frame. And usually when we do look at the prediction data frame, we do three things. We look at schema, we'll describe, and we'll do some head. And for that, let's do schema. Let's do schema, and let's see what it has. It should be print schema, and it has a prediction column that was appended after the model did some transformation. And next thing we need to do is we need to show we need to show the summary statistics of the prediction data set, and we'll do some show here, and we'll show us some summary metrics of this data set. And these are summary metrics we have. Now next thing what we need to do is we need to look at some few rows of data set, that is prediction.head. This is what we have here. This is what we have here. Now, once we do this, what's the next thing we should do? Can you guess? we need to do some evaluation. Now, next step is to do evaluation of the our testing data. For this, we need to use an evaluator. We need to use an evaluator, that is, we need to create an evaluator using a regression evaluator. The evaluator we're going to use is called regression evaluator, and it will show me what's the root mean square deviation from the correct values for our predicted values. So let's do it. Let's do the evaluator here. Let's do the evaluator, that is regression evaluator, and metric name will be RMSE, and label column will be rating, and the prediction column will be predictions. Once we do this, we'll do the evaluator. Now the evaluator has been created. Next we need to do is calculate RMSE metrics, root mean square estimator metrics, and we'll evaluate using our evaluator and put that into RMSE. Now, next thing we need to do is print out the RMSE. Print out the RMSE here. RMSE root mean square error equal to RMSE. So it's gonna print out a root mean square error, that is 1.9 something. That is, there's a difference of 1 unit of difference between the some values between the root mean square error, between the values of what we have in the predicted column and the on the true levels. So it's not much difference here. So it's really good. Now, next thing we need to do is apply our new model to do some evaluation itself. For this, what we need to do is we'll do some selection of the user and create a single user data set. It's a data set we're going to create, that is user ID 11, and select the movie ID and user ID from that data set. And once we have that, it's our a subset of data, and we'll see that we'll have some data here. That is, we'll do some head. We'll do print schema as we do always. Print schema, show, and head. That's our standard procedure to do it. To investigate the data, we'll substitute this here. These are two columns we have here, and then we do some mean statistics, summary statistics of the data, and we'll look at a few rows of the data. Now, once we have it, next we need to do is we need to transform the input data to get some predictions here. And for this, we need to create a new data set called recommendation, and then use that model to transform the data and get a recommendations or predictions. And after that, we'll order by the prediction ascending false, and then we'll do this. Then next thing we do is predictions. Now, why is giving error? Can you tell me? It is giving error because there's a 2 double C here. That's why it's giving error. Now, if you do this, it's still giving error. Recommendation is not defined. Now let's try to do this as replace this, and hopefully it'll work now. Now it works. So we have these predictions for all the movies that we have here. So that's all for today. Let me quickly summarize what we learned today. We learned about recommender system, and what we did was we trained the data and we did some validation, and we also do some testing of the data. And with the model, we did some prediction on our test data. So that's all for today. I'll see you next learning session. Thank you so much.